I do love that intro music. I really do. But I can't wait. We're gonna redo this beginning here. I think we're gonna start using that little Bobby intro we had before. Where it goes in and out of different radio stations. I just really love that one. Welcome everyone to season 4, episode 10 of The Buzz with yours truly, Mama T. I actually am doing something today I haven't done since season 1. I have an in-studio guest today. We are going to be visiting with Trey Everett from Northwest Minnesota Community Arts Council. And we just actually he just got done interviewing me. So if you are following along on the page, you'll see an interview I just shared. Yes, I just got interviewed for the second time of my life. Crazy. And there was more in-depth questions on this one. You might not want to watch it. Yeah, there might be too much for you. But we'll bring him on in just a second. First, we're going to hear a little bit from Grand Forks Best Source.
Today's episode is sponsored in part by Grand Forks Best Source. They're a cutting-edge local media broadcasting studio with captivating shows, on-location event coverage, and unparalleled advertising opportunities. Grand Forks Best Source has become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for studio or platform, or a local business seeking to advertise, go ahead and email Paul at local@gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website that's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Mama T sent you.
And here he is, the man himself. He looks like he's muted, but he's really not. So our computers are so close together, there was too much feedback. So we just decided to share a mic instead of sharing a screen because, it's kind of weird. What if I'm not wearing deodorant? Lucky I am, but still. It's much better because now you can see the other part of my studio, the background of my studio with all of the newsletters behind him. Welcome to the show, Trey.
Thank you so much. This is awesome.
And I am so glad I got the chance to meet you. Why don't you tell everybody the story of how and why we met?
Yes. So I work with the Northwest Minnesota Arts Council, and I'm the showcase specialist. It's just a fancy term for I work with our galleries throughout Northwest Minnesota. And we have our main gallery is in Thief River Falls at Northland Community and Technical College. And we put up 3 exhibits a year, and it takes up most of the year. They're multi-months long. And our exhibits are usually visual arts. And this time we're doing something a little different. It's a gallery focused on musicians or composers, singer-songwriters, people in the music industry. And so we're gathering all kinds of information from various artists throughout Northwest Minnesota. And we're going to have a lot of artists. Most of our artists will be sort of snapshots, just little bits of information about them and who they are, and maybe some QR codes. But we are going to feature 2 artists, 2 main features, and one of them is Little Bobby. And so my wife and I drove over to McIntosh to Little Bobby's bar, and that's where I met Mama T. And so we had a great conversation. There were a number of us there, and we learned a lot about Little Bobby. And so now I'm back to see Mama T and to get some items that she is kindly letting us borrow to put in the exhibit, and then also to have this interview.
Yeah. We did. I did give you a few things. I'm glad I'm getting these back because, okay, there's two things that I just decided today to give you. Loan, obviously. One,
Hmm.
is that. And the other one,
Thank you. They will be taken good care of.
oh goodness, makes me learn. It makes me a little nervous. I know you'll take good care of them. I know you will. But what am I gonna have on my set now? So how did you get into the Northwest? You know what I mean.
Right. Northwest Minnesota Arts Council.
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. Yeah. So I started in 2020, right when COVID was happening. And yeah, and so I just applied for a couple of positions they had openings for, and I got them. And I love what I do with the Northwest Minnesota Arts Council. There are 3 of us that work in this region. It's called Region 1, and there are arts councils all over Minnesota. I think there's maybe 13 different regions. And so we're in the Northwest region. We're in 7 counties in Northwest Minnesota. And so my particular work is, as I mentioned, I work with galleries. And so I get to figure out what will be our next gallery. I get to meet all these cool artists. I get to connect artists with each other. I get to organize when artists drop off their work and how the gallery is going to be set up. And we'll do receptions for these galleries. And yeah, it's a great, it's a lot of creativity, and I really like what I do. And so that's just a little bit about my work with the Arts Council.
There's a lot of other ways that you're involved with the arts, though, isn't there?
Yes, I am an artist. I'm a pen and ink artist. I'm a muralist. I do a fair amount of art residencies in schools. I do commission pieces, and I keep very busy.
Well, tell us how long have you been doing all that? Like, how did you get into it?
Well, I got into it. I've always been interested in artwork. My dad was, did artwork on the side. I have cousins that do artwork and other relatives, so it's in my blood. And I loved doing artwork as a kid, and then I got older and I got more interested in other things, cars, girls, whatever, and kind of dropped it all. And then years later, I mean, this was back in 2007, probably. I'm in my 40s at that point, and I was doing some doodling during a meeting, and my coworker said, "Oh, I see you like to draw. Why don't you do that more?" And I thought, yeah, why don't I do that more? The idea is do what you love, follow what gives you life. And so I didn't know how I was going to use my artwork, and I just started drawing in my journals more and more, and slowly it just kind of took a life of its own. And I began doing commission pen and ink pieces. I published a couple of little books. I started painting, doing mural work, and it's just exploded. And so that's, I'm just enmeshed in the art world now.
So where can people see your mural work? I know you said you're into murals too.
Yeah.
So one of my first newsletters I did, this couple wandered into the bar, and the woman actually used to be a backup singer for Prince. And we're like, wow, that's amazing. Me and Bobby were talking to this couple, and we were talking to her, and oh wow, this is so cool, blah blah blah, right? And then we turn to him. What do you do? And why are you guys in this area? Oh, we're in the area for a wedding, but we wanted to check out his old work. So Macintosh, the mural on the side of the bank.
Yes, Tacoma.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Those were my first featured artists or no, Highway Stories. They were
Okay.
Tacoma and his wife were my feature. I think it was issue 1 or 2. I'll have to give you those when we're
That
done
is
here.
so cool.
They're downstairs, but that he did that one, and he did one in Boston, I believe.
Yeah.
So
that is so cool.
just randomly, just like they just randomly wandered into the bar, and we just started talking, and we met a lot of cool people that way.
Yeah. Well, actually, so one of my murals is in Boston, so it's right next to Tacumba's mural. And so there's this little alley there in Boston. It's right across the street from the movie theater that has the big "Welcome to Boston" mural. And so a friend of mine, Ross Heyer, who's a retired wildlife biologist and a watercolor artist, we painted these 2 large walls in that alley of this pine to prairie Minnesota themed mural. So we did that this last summer. That was a lot of fun. You can see a lot of my work in Crookston, where I live. There's a big mural on the True Value hardware store building downtown Crookston. Tomorrow I'm starting a mural at the Care and Share in Crookston in their food pantry. I've done a number of murals in schools in Crookston. Then you can see some in Grand Forks. Ross and I did a mural right across from Bernie's, kind of across from Cabela's or Bass Pro on the movie theater building. There's a big mural about fish of the Red River that's kind of shaped like a postage stamp. And then I got a lot of controversy over one I did for School of the Blind in Grand Forks. So that one, so I came up with this image. The school, we kept talking about, well, I should back up. The way often murals work is a client contacts me and says, could you do a mural? I'm like, sure. So we talk about what they want on the mural. School for the Blind was like, yeah, we'd like to have a person walking with a cane. We'd like to have the North Dakota state bird, the North Dakota state flower, maybe a rainbow, a magnifying glass, some of the tools that they use. And so, I drew an image, sent it to them. They said, switch these around. I drew another image, sent it to them, change this, do that. Finally, it got approved, and I painted this mural. I was literally like, I don't know, I started on a Monday, and Friday afternoon, I was pretty close to being done. And I was told I had to stop because the city of Grand Forks informed the school that was a no mural zone in the city.
What?
I know. So then so I say, okay, so I stop, pack up my stuff. Then I get a call over the weekend saying, you can go ahead and finish it, because I'm just hours away from being done. So I come back, I'm finishing up. I hear this car stop behind me. I'm on the ladder, and I turn around. This lady's like videoing me. And so I wave at her like, hi, because people all week have been honking, saying, we love it. It's beautiful. And she says, I thought this mural was supposed to stop. And I said, well, I was told to stop on Friday, and then I was told I could start again. And she said, but I thought you were supposed to stop. And I said, I don't know who you need to talk to. And she goes, it's effing ugly. And I know. So I was super calm, though. I came off my ladder and I said, you're the first person to complain about it. Everybody else has said they love it. She hit the gas and peeled out and yelled, it's effing ugly. So
Rude.
I know. So come to find out, it was probably a city official who did this. And so it got lots of publicity, and I've got a big rainbow in the image. And so some people were like, oh, he's
LGBTQ. Yeah.
And I love the LGBTQ community, but that's not an LGBTQ mural. It just has a rainbow. It's all what we all decided.
Yeah.
Big meadowlark, western meadowlark, prairie rose flower, rainbow. Anyway, so the city was like, they had a big meeting. I went to it. A lot of people went to it. I had all these supporters. We told why it should stay up. The city said, nope, you're gonna have to sandblast it off, take it down. So this went on for weeks and weeks.
Did you get paid for this?
I did.
All right. Well,
School for the Blind was super awesome. They got a lot of publicity from this. I got a lot of publicity, which was great. In the end, the state attorney contacted the city attorney. Because it's a state school, a state building, and the state attorneys told the city attorney, you don't have any jurisdiction here. And so I got to finish it.
Yes. That's an awesome story. I love it.
Yeah, it turned out really well.
Did you do the one that's on off city center? Because on my first, you know where the town square is, like right next to the bridge there.
Yeah.
There's that stage and.
Yep. No, I didn't do that one.
Okay, because I was gonna say when we started after Bobby died, we redid the intro to the show, and that was actually that mural was actually in the intro. So I was like, that'd be really cool if you did that one too, because it was in my show.
Right. No, that's a nice one. I like that one. There are a lot of muralists around that are really good. I mean, they're really talented people. It's fun creating murals and seeing murals. It's nice. It's great because it's public art. It's totally free. It adds beauty. And you don't have to, it doesn't matter what you believe or your politics or anything. It's open to everyone all the time. And I love that about public art. And
well, unless it's got the American flag or a rainbow, because if it's got an American flag, you're supporting the LGBTQ community, and if it's got an American flag, you're a Trumpist. I mean, right. When did these symbols become negative? Right. That just blows my mind. The American flag is for all of the people, not just people who support Trump. That's everybody's flag.
Yep. That's right. I know.
Just like the rainbow. Hey, so only gay people eat Lucky Charms because there's a rainbow on the box. I mean, it just seems so ridiculous how people have become. Just, you have to either be all the way over here or you got to be all the way over here.
Yeah.
As one of our viewers right now, as Ricky says all the time, can't we all just get along a little bit?
Right.
I mean,
right. Yeah, totally.
So we do have a commercial break coming up, and one of the commercials in there is going to be for that the holiday train that goes through, and we'll talk a little bit about that afterwards. But we will talk more with you about what goes into creating a mural and how much work goes into it and what the planning stages are and everything like that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back and talk to Trey a little bit more.
When it comes to podcasts and social media, stick with the best. Grand Forks' best source. Keep up to date with local happenings and news, interviews with city leaders, athletes, nonprofits, and of course, lots of feel-good stories. Grand Forks' best source is a great way to advertise your business or events with the most economical ad packages available. And contact us to find out how you can have your own podcast with the best studio in the area. Check out Grand Forks' best source on your favorite social media app. Grand Forks' best source, the Forks' best local podcast. Call 701-213-0863 or online at gfbestsource.com. We love the Forks. Grand Forks Best Source, giving the Forks their identity again.
Pioneer 90.1 is a radio station like none other. Local people get to host their own shows, sharing music not heard on other stations. We partner with area nonprofits to present community events like Riverfest. As a non-commercial service, we rely on listeners like you to help us grow this one-of-a-kind radio station, made just for our community. Thank you for your donation.
It's that time of year again. The CPKC Holiday Train is back. Come celebrate the holidays and cheer on this year's amazing lineup of artists. Featuring Smash Mouth, Bare Naked Ladies, JJ Wild, Lanco, Tierra Kennedy, Dylan Marlowe, American Authors, Jade Eagleson, Tegan Gates, Pink Beard, Brittany Kennel, and Tyler Shaw. We can't wait to see you. Come out to a show to support your local food bank. Go to cpkcr.com for more info.
Visit littlebobbybuzz.com, your source for Little Bobby merch and music. Keep up with the bar and don't forget about the buzz with Mama T. That's littlebobbybuzz.com.
Oh, we're back. You know, okay, that was our first commercial. I hope, because I was really hoping. So we've got these commercials we do for other people, our supporters. One of them is Soko. He's a DJ with WRLN. And that's a really fun commercial. I can't wait. I hope that's what he's playing next break, because that's a really funny commercial and we can talk about that. And then it's also got some of my producer Jeremy's other works on there too. But as far as that commercial we just played, Lanco and T.R. Kennedy are going to be playing in Plummer at 6:15 and in Thief River at 7:45. So go check out the Holiday Train. If you can't remember, like they said, it is cpkcr.com, and you can get that whole schedule that they're doing. Now back to our guests. During the break, we were talking about how are people so rude? Like this, that woman, she was representing the city of Grand Forks, and she's cussing at you while you're trying to beautify her city. Like it's just mind blowing to me. You know,
I know.
Why can't people just let people do their thing? And just because it's not something you're into doesn't mean it's not going to bring joy to other people.
Right. Yeah.
Just, people like that just frustrate me. Oh, all right. Calm down. All right. So take me through a mural from start to finish.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what happens is a lot of times people will reach out to me to say, hey, that we'd like a mural. Sometimes there are calls for art. You know, a city wants a mural and they'll put out a call and I'll apply for it. But once it's established, like if I'm going to do the mural, one of the first things is I go to the site and I measure the space. And so I've got to know exactly how the size of this thing, and that helps me set the price. I price based on time I estimate it's going to take me. And so, you know, the one in Boston I was telling you about that Ross and I did, that was 2 large walls. And, you know, and that took us like 3 weeks. And so we had to take that in account. But once we figure out how the size, the canvas size, then and if it's an outdoor mural, you can only work on it certain times of the year, of course. Indoor mural, you have a lot more flexibility. But once you have the sizing, then I talk with the client. What are you interested in? What would you like to have? We would like a nature theme, or we'd like this, we'd like that. And then I start making a sketch, and I deciding, what I think looks good. And I'll usually make really tiny sketches, like just this big. And I'll do maybe 5 or 6 and kind of color them in, and to give people an idea. And then I let them look at them. And then they're like, okay, I like 1 and 2, and I don't like the others. Can you combine 1 and 2? And so that's that process until the client is like, okay, this is the one. This is what I like. And that can take anywhere from just a few days to months sometimes. It just depends. So once the design is figured out, then there's a few ways to get a small image on a large canvas. And so I've used many of them. One, you can use a projector. So I can take a photo of the paper image on my phone, and then I plug my phone into this projector I've got, and it projects it right on the wall, which is super great. I just trace around it and then paint it. There's some downsides to a projector. It has to be semi-dark. If it's too far away, it kind of obscures it a little bit. Distorts it, right? So you can't be super close. It's just too tiny. So you've got to keep that in mind. Another way I've done murals are the grid system. And so I'll take my paper and I cut it up, or don't cut it, I draw little lines to make grids. And I make sure the measurements are correct. So it'd be like 1 square inch on the paper equals 1 square foot or something like that on the wall. And then basically I'm just holding my paper up and I'm like, okay, square 3 over 2 down. I've got these lines like this, and I just draw it in and draw each little square in, and then voila, you've got the outline of your mural. My favorite way right now is called Doodle Grid, and it's a grid system, but it's it looks super confusing. And what you do is you can either sometimes I use tape, but spray paint is great. So like this wall in Foston, for example, I got a spray paint and I sprayed the whole 2 walls with all these symbols, the alphabet, ABC, numbers 1 to 25, little smiley faces, circles, triangles, squares, all over this wall. And it just looks crazy. When you see it, it looks like somebody was trying to do graffiti or something. So then I have this app on my phone called Doodle Grid. It's a little free app. And what you do is you take a photo with your phone of the wall with all those little designs. Then you take a photo of your drawing. And in the grid, it puts the drawing right over that wall. And you can make it transparent so you can see the wall through the drawing, and you can move it around and everything, get it exactly where you want. And then I basically get on my ladder and I hold my phone and I'm like, okay, this line goes next to the A and over by the square and then up by the smiley face, and then this line and you draw the whole thing out, and it works perfect.
That is so neat. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah.
And so instead of A1 and C3 and D12, it's a smiley face or a letter. Or
exactly. Okay. And the nice thing is it's a little quicker than the grid system, because the grid system, you really have to get these lines perfectly figured out and in order. And the Doodle Grid, you're just doing whatever and then using your app. So that's great, and that's the main thing. And then you start painting. So I use Benjamin Moore paints because they're the best that I've found, and they're super high quality.
Indoor and outdoor?
Yep, indoor and outdoor. And a lot of times I'll use samples. They sell these little $7 sample paints, and so I'll use a lot of different colors, and I'll just get a lot of samples. And then I've got all my different size brushes and rollers and ladders and scaffolding and all this stuff. And I just start painting and slowly put it together. I like to, a lot of my work involves collagrams, and collagrams are images with words inside of them.
Okay.
And so what I'll do is I'll create this mural, and then I'll add all these positive affirmations, like, you can do it, or you're awesome, or I don't know, just all kinds of things. And I'll do fancy lettering inside the mural. Some of it's kind of hard to see, and I make it that way. But especially in schools, it's great because kids will walk by the mural every day and they can read these little statements that
Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
right. Exactly. exactly. So I do a lot of collagrams, and then when I'm finished with the mural, I put on a clear coat of polyurethane, a few coats, and it protects it from weather. If it's outdoors, it protects it from fading from the sun. If it's indoors, it just protects it from kids' hands or ketchup or whatever. You can just wipe it down with the damp rag. So that's kind of the process.
And okay, that's really interesting. I learned a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, and it can take often school residencies I shoot for 5 days, and I'm having kids help me, which is a lot of fun.
Neat.
They learn this whole process. Oh, this is how you create a mural, and it starts with a piece of paper, and then this is how you get it on the wall. And I help them, or they help me draw it on the wall. I teach them this is how you use a paintbrush, because a lot of kids don't know. This is how you hold it. This is how you dip it in the paint. Don't dip it in too far. This is how you clean your brush.
Yes.
I didn't learn how to clean a paintbrush till I was in my 40s. And so they learn all these cool techniques. They get to paint. I usually put numbers in the image, like 1, 2, 3. And then I say, okay, whenever you see a 1, that's this green. So they know.
Oh, color by numbers.
Color by number. And it's great for the kids. And it gives them, a lot of confidence, and they're so proud of it when it's done. They can say, hey, I helped create that.
Do they get art credits for that? Or
I
time out of their art class?
The school lets them out, out of their classes, and they, it's a privilege to be able to help, and they love it. It's been so much fun.
Man, I wish they would have done that when I was in.
I know, me too.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And see, and this is going along with our legacies. So now you guys know that we do the Little Bobby Buzz podcast because we are trying to carry on Little Bobby's legacies, supporting musicians and the arts, keeping the music alive, and bringing the arts to the kids. And there was a lot of ways Bobby did that. And one of the ways we decided that on this podcast, it was always going to be a clean show. We were going to keep our PG reading so that on any platform, the kids will have access to it. Any platform that they're allowed on, that they only have access to, PG stuff, then we're gonna make sure that they can learn stuff, so they can learn about murals on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's all kinds of different forms of arts. It's not just music. And yes, normally this is a music themed podcast, but you know what? I've decided we bring in producers. We got Jeremy on here. We are bringing in the Arts Council because Northwest Minnesota Arts Council actually supported Bobby a lot. They did a lot of, they supported a lot of it. I think they gave him grants for the Women of the Blues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. They did, and you know what? That's how we support each other.
Yeah.
We get each other's names out there.
We publicize everything. We got to share. We got to be kind to each other. We have to help each other out. I mean, like, I don't know how many people have heard of the Northwest Minnesota Arts Council.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do they do?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, are you asking me?
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Arts Council is awesome. It's, they provide a lot of funding, a lot of grants for nonprofits, for schools. They provide grants for individual artists. So, if you're a potter and you need a kiln and you don't have the money to buy a kiln, because that's an expensive buy, you can write a grant. And, if it gets approved, you can get the grant money to buy your kiln. And it's so awesome because it gives all of these artists, it's so hard, to make it as an artist, right? And we all need lots of support and encouragement. And that's what the Arts Council does. They provide all of these avenues to help fund artists, to help educate artists, to help artists collaborate together, to help people see art, to promote people, just like we're promoting you, Mama T, just so people can know, hey, this is who you are, and this is how people can find out more about you and see what you do. And it's just a way for people to have access to just a bigger audience. And and we love art. And Northwest Minnesota has so many talented people. There are so many gifted musicians, visual artists, writers, sculptors. I mean, it's impressive. I meet so many
podcasters.
Podcasters, that's right. So it's awesome. So that's what we do. That's some of what we do. And so we do podcasts, we have radio shows, and it's all about promoting people like you, artists.
Well, maybe, see, I know this lady that writes really good grants. Maybe I could actually get monetized.
There you go.
Wow. I never even thought of that.
There you go.
Because I keep joking that Jeremy needs a raise.
Yeah.
I keep telling him to give himself a raise, but he can double his salary.
Yeah.
I keep telling him, double your salary, give yourself a 50% raise, or, well, 0 times 0 is 0. So, but we do have another commercial coming up. And after we get back, we're going to get into just your life in general. Like, where were you born? Where were you raised? Tell me about your family. The kind of thing you did to me on our little. Figured we get the important stuff out of the way first. Okay. But until then, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When it comes to podcasts and social media, stick with the best. Grand Forks' best source. Keep up to date with local happenings and news, interviews with city leaders, athletes, nonprofits, and of course, lots of feel-good stories. Grand Forks' best source is a great way to advertise your business or events with the most economical ad packages available. And contact us to find out how you can have your own podcast with the best studio in the area. Check out Grand Forks' best source on your favorite social media app. Grand Forks' best source, the Forks' best local podcast. Call 701-213-0863 or online at gfbestsource.com. We love the Forks. Grand Forks' best source, giving the Forks their identity again.
What's up, Red Lake Nation Radio? This is your host, DJ Soko. Come join me if you're Ace or Donnell from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Soko Saturday, where I have a new segment, Soko's Metal Madness Hour from 7 to 8 p.m., bringing the North all the new and classic metal to the masses. The first 3 hours will be the old school hits, the rock and roll classics, and all other genres of music. Even country.
Why?
So come take a cruise with me, DJ Soko, bringing the fire right here on 105.3 WRLN, Red Lake Nation Radio. Yeah.
Pioneer 90.1 is a radio station like none other. Local people get to host their own shows, sharing music not heard on other stations. We partner with area nonprofits to present community events like Riverfest. As a non-commercial service, we rely on listeners like you to help us grow this one-of-a-kind radio station, made just for our community. Thank you for your donation.
Hey everybody. Season 2 of Adulting with Jake is underway, but while you wait, you can always relive Adulting 101 Season 1 and every excruciating detail and every terrible pun, lame joke, and frankly, every poorly acted scene. Out now on our channel, cookingwithjakeshow.com.
Visit littlebobbybuzz.com, your source for Little Bobby merch and music. Keep up with the bar and don't forget about the buzz with Mama T. That's littlebobbybuzz.com.
So I'm glad he played those because so what was your favorite part about those commercials?
Oh my gosh. I like the my favorite part was the last one with the gorilla and the gorilla suit. That was good.
So my favorite part is when we're playing the Soko commercial and he says, all genres, even country. Why? It was back in the, what is it, the early 90s, was it? When Tanya Harding took out that chick's leg.
Yeah.
And the chick was like, why? And he pulled that right from that clip. Oh my goodness.
I remember that.
We are going to talk about your life real quick, but first I want to show everybody this. This is some of your work here, and this is on the back of your business card. And what it says is contemplative creativity, spiritual direction, healing through art, contemplative practice retreats, pen and ink art for meditation and reflection, meals and signs. And what it says on here is there is a website, www.treyeverettcreates.com.
Correct.
No, it's not. No, I was waiting for it to pop up. Whenever I say things like that, it just automatically pops up on the screen. I don't know how it happens. Oh, see? And then there's, you're on Instagram at Trey Everett Creates. And of course, you've got your email.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit. See, I forgot about what was on this card. Tell me a little bit about the spiritual direction and the healing through art that you do. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, what are the services that you're providing here?
Right. Okay. Well, spiritual direction is, it's if somebody's trying to make an important decision or they just are looking for some kind of guidance. That's kind of what a spiritual director does. A spiritual director doesn't really give advice. I'll listen. I do lots of listening and ask questions back. Like, tell me more about, why you're feeling this way. Tell me more about, when you said this was painful, what do you mean?
So kind of like an unlicensed shrink.
Well, kind of, but not. It's not counseling. It's more evocative. Like you have the answer deep down. Most people just don't know it, and it's just continuing to ask, and you're exploring together. You're exploring with the person. And so I do a lot of listening, and then ask a lot of questions, and then through this, it's about an hour-long process in person, over the phone or Zoom. And it's just a way for people to have a little more clarity in their life. So that's kind of what spiritual direction is. My website will say a little bit more about it. I do this. My first profession was in the church. So I'm an ordained pastor. I went to Bible college. I went to seminary. I worked in the mission field for years. I worked in churches and variety of areas.
I'm actually ordained online.
Okay, a lot of people are. So you can do weddings.
I can.
Awesome.
That's why I did it, but then they broke up because I was like, dude, you guys have to do some counseling because I don't want my first marriage to end up in divorce. Okay, I already had that happen to me personally.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've had that happen. Quite a
so
few
let's do
times.
some counseling first, and they actually did pay me for some counseling sessions, and then
Okay.
it still didn't work out, and I was like, no, I'm not married.
Yeah, that happens. That happens. So yeah, so you know, and so as time went on, spiritual directing is really what I'm more interested in than the church work, which I don't really do that anymore. I do funerals for people that don't go to church and things like that. But
Like non-denominational, everybody welcome kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I offer, healing through art. So I worked at a contemplative retreat center for many years, and we did all kinds of things: meditation retreats, art retreats, healing through art retreats, spiritual practice retreats. And so that's when I really got into healing through art, which is basically not really teaching an art technique, but instead providing all of these art supplies, paint, markers, paper, scissors, newspapers to cut up or magazines to cut up, buttons, all kinds of things, canvases. And then what happens is you give people a prompt, you know, what gives you life? You know, where do you find energy in life? And then everybody starts working on their own piece and creating it, and the art kind of takes on a mind of its own. And then toward the end, we talk, you know, we have a little debriefing time if you want to share. And I always teach I call it the 3 secret teachings of art, which are, it's always about the process, not the product. So you don't have to worry about what it's going to look like in the end. The artwork will do that for you. Just have fun, be in the moment. You can't do this wrong. You also can't do it right, because you're in a world beyond right and wrong when you're working on your art. There's no right or wrong. And so that gives you freedom to explore and to take risks. And then the last secret teaching is be kind to yourself, which we all need, because in our mind, you know, we start working on something and then our 3rd grade teacher, who was really mean to us, says that's not very good. And so always be nice to yourself. And it's surprising what happens.
Color outside the lines.
That's right.
Color outside the lines.
That's
Because
right.
you know what? You make the lines. You
Yeah.
know, healing through art. It's just like a lot of my guests always talk about music is healing.
Yeah.
You know, music calms the savage beast, they say. And it spans all over the globe. Like, you can always find a genre of music or a song or something that makes you feel better. That's one of the things I loved about Little Bobby's music, was that no matter what mood you're in or what mood you want to be in, he's got a song for it. He's got a song for it.
Yeah.
And you know that bleeds over into art as well, because listening to music can help you, a musician. Making the music can help them.
Yeah. Or
help the person that is listening to it. Art, looking at art, seeing art and making art, feeling something like this poster here. What do you feel when you see this poster here? I mean, what do you feel when you see a great work of art?
Right.
But what do you feel when you make art as well? And that can be just as healing as looking at somebody else's work.
Right. Yeah. And I think one of the ways you can kind of know you're in that good space when you're creating art or music or whatever, it's when time sort of just drops away, you know. So you're working on something and you're like,
when did it get dark?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's because
why is my stomach growling? Didn't I just eat? Oh, that was 6 hours ago. Whoops.
you're in the present moment and you are just engaged, and that's the awesome part. And I feel like it's a collaboration. So whether it's creating music or a sculpture or writing something or visual art, I feel like there is an essence, an intelligence, something there, and you're not just doing it on your own. It is a collaboration. And I think if you honor that and trust that process, it shows up. Your muse shows up, and you and your work is beautiful and awesome.
So then you got the retreats, you got the pen and ink art for meditation and reflection, and murals and signs. I mean, this is just what you're doing for the community, for your community, for art lovers, for people in general, to help them explore not only themselves and their feelings and their emotions, but their gifts as well. Because, you never know. Somebody might not even know that they're good at drawing or painting or just random,
I know,
beating even, you never know.
Right.
And people might not even know they're good at that. And they go to you and they say, yeah, I need, what can I do? What can you do for me? I'm and you say, well, why don't you, here's some stuff.
Yeah.
What speaks to you? Oh, I didn't even know I could do that. Hey, that's really good, isn't it? And you give them a little boost of self-confidence. And
yeah. I mean, I think we all need that. We've all had too much bad stuff happen in our lives, and we all need that extra little support or boost or encouragement. I remember I was doing an art class, and I was working with this elderly woman, and she was creating something and drawing something, and it was really good. And I commented, I said, wow, you're really good. And she was, thankful and kind of shy. And she said, well, she goes, when I was a little girl, I was really good at drawing. And one of my teachers encouraged me to enter my drawing in the county fair. And so I did. And the judge in the fair said, your drawing's disqualified. And she said, why? He said, because it's clear you traced this. And she goes, I didn't. He goes, you couldn't have drawn this. You traced it. So she said she went home and she put away her little ink nibs and her inkwell, put it away for 50 years, and just recently started getting it out and drawing again. And, that's so sad. And we all need that little bit of encouragement to say, it's okay. You can do this. You can do this. And so that's what I love to do. That's actually what the Arts Council does. That was an Arts Council art session that they created and provided all the supplies. And so, that's what we need.
And see, that's just, a kind word is what people need. But isn't it funny how that one bad experience, like that one judge for her, or that one karaoke night for me, just makes you want to shut down, no matter how many people tell you between then and now, you should try that again. You should try that again. No. And I was embarrassed. Like I worked at a factory, and I'd have my music on, and I'd have my back to the door, and I'd be doing my job and singing along with the music. And all of a sudden I'd turn around and there's my boss standing there just leaning against the wall, just listening. Wow, why did you do that? Don't do that. Why would you do that? You don't want to hear me sing, but he never said anything. He just stood there, But it's just funny how we take in so much from the negativity from the world to begin with.
Yeah.
And then taking personally somebody's, like you obviously are a little beyond that, I would say. If this woman came up to you in the middle of a mural telling you it was effing ugly, I mean, that's just that would be hard for me. That would be hard for me. That just, I mean, of course you got to get past it. You got to get around it. You got to remember that everybody's got their own opinion, and opinions are like
noses. Everybody's got
one. Noses. That's that's what I was going to say. So we've got only a few minutes left because Jeremy is doing the Christmas program that he's going to start in 4 minutes. So we need to get off of here in 2 minutes.
That is awesome. I don't know how he's doing all these things at once.
I know he is incredible. He's amazing. I'm going to send you the link to the show where I interviewed him.
Okay.
Because he's an awesome guy, and he works for peanuts, like literally peanuts. But tell me real quick where you grew up.
Yeah.
What a little bit about your life.
Yeah, I grew up in the Missouri Ozarks, and
shut up.
Yeah.
My father lived in the Arkansas Ozarks.
Okay. Yeah. Not far away. Yeah, I'm not too far
from
Branson. Yeah, and so I grew up there, only child. Met my wife in seminary. We have 3 adult children. We're new empty nesters. All 3 of our kids are in Minneapolis right now. And and we live in Crookston. And
You have any grandkids yet?
No grandkids.
Soon?
None of our kids are married or expecting.
It's fun. It's really fun. Oh my gosh.
I'm sure it is. I'm not ready for grandkids, but if we have any, I'll be ready then.
How old are your kids?
26, 23, and 19.
Yeah, they can wait. They can wait a little bit. So we only have a couple minutes left. I'm going to thank you, Trey, for everything you do for your community, everything you do with the Minnesota Arts Council. Everybody, go to Trey Everett Creates. You heard all the things that he can do for you, all the things that the Arts Council can do for you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much for being here today. Also, stay tuned. Next week, we've got Michael Carbone from Drummer's Journey. It's a music store. I can't remember what town he's out of. It's like Fargo, I think. I'm pretty sure it's Fargo, but it could be wrong. I'm gonna let him virtually kick me next week if I was wrong. It might be Bemidji. I can't remember for sure. But all right, you guys, we're gonna have to go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been great.
And go back, scroll down now. After you're done watching this, scroll down and you can check out Trey interviewing me.
That's right.
So we'll see you all next week. You guys have a great week. I will see you next week. Keep the music alive. Love you guys.
Today's episode is sponsored in part by Grand Forks Best Source. They're a cutting-edge local media broadcasting studio with captivating shows, on-location event coverage, and unparalleled advertising opportunities. Grand Forks Best Source has become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for studio or platform, or a local business seeking to advertise, go ahead and email Paul at local@gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website that's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Mama T sent you.